Mourinho just said something that a lot of people do not want to hear, but it is an uncomfortable truth. Argentina is the favorite to win the 2026 World Cup, not despite Messi turning 39 in June, but precisely because of it. And that phrase, which sounds crazy to people who only look at stats and miles covered, hides the key to everything happening with this national team. Because what Scaloni built around Messi is not a team that depends on him to run, press, or burst past defenders like he did in 2012. It is a team designed so that Leo does exactly what he does best: think the game 3 seconds before everyone else. And this is the point Mourinho understands better than anyone, because he experienced it firsthand when he had to face him. Today's Messi is not the Barcelona Messi who scored 60 goals a season and made 60-meter runs leaving defenders on the ground. That Messi no longer exists in full, and that is fine because he is 38 years old and his body is not the same. But what does still exist, and this is what a lot of people still do not fully understand, is a Messi who reads the field like no one else, who anticipates plays that have not even happened yet, who can unlock a game that is stuck with one 30-meter pass. And Scaloni, who has known him since he was a kid, understood that to get the most out of that version of him, he needed to surround him with attack dogs, people who run for him, who win the ball back for him, who give him the ball in the right conditions to hurt the opponent. Rodrigo de Paul is the perfect example. The guy runs 12 kilometers per game, marks, presses, takes the hits, all so that when Leo gets the ball, he has time and space to think. And he does not do it because someone forces him to. He does it because he loves him, because he grew up watching Messi play, and he understands that being on the field with him is a historic privilege that will not last forever. The same goes for Cuti Romero, Alexis McAllister, Enzo Fernandez, all players who arrived at the national team not to compete with Messi, but to protect him, to give him the tools he needs at this stage of his career, where he can no longer do everything by himself, and the numbers do not lie. Argentina, in the 2024 Copa America, allowed only 1 goal in the entire tournament. 1. That is not a coincidence. That is a defense that works as a block. One that does not need Messi dropping back to win balls in his own half. And that allows Leo to do what he is supposed to do: show up in the decisive moments. He does not need to play 90 minutes at 100%. He needs to play 20 minutes at 200%. And the team Scaloni built gives him exactly that possibility. Mourinho said it loud and clear. Scaloni built an army of attack dogs who run for Messi, and that is the genius of the project. Because in other eras, when Leo was off, Argentina lost. You remember the finals against Chile, the loss against Germany and Brazil. Those were teams that needed Messi to perform magic in order to win. Total Messi dependence. But not this team. This team can win without Messi being the star. It can win with an impossible save by Dibu in a one-on-one, with a header from Otamendi, or with a run from Julian Alvarez. And that takes enormous pressure off Messi, because now he does not have to carry everything. Now he can choose when to appear. And here comes the interesting part. In 2026, Messi is not going to be the one who runs the most. He is not going to be the one who covers the most distance. He is going to be the one who gives the most key passes and creates the most assists. In the turning point moment, he is going to make that pass nobody saw, because even though he no longer runs like before, despite being 38 years old, his skill and talent are still intact. But that, in the end, is what a brain does: pull the strings without needing to rush. He does not run all over the field, he thinks all over the field. And Scaloni understood that to take advantage of that brain, he needed muscles around him. He needed people who win the ball back quickly, who press high, who give him the ball clean so he can turn it into a goal. And it is not just the old guard. What is happening now with the young guys arriving at the national team is incredible. Nico Paz and Gianluca Prestiani, among others, all young, both grew up watching Messi win the World Cup in Qatar, and they arrived with a different mentality than before. They did not come to compete. With Messi, they came to play with him, to learn from him, and so that when Leo retires, they can say they shared the field with the best in history. And that changes everything, because before there was tension in the national team between those who felt they had to live up to Messi and those who felt Messi overshadowed them. But this new generation does not have that problem. They know Messi is untouchable, that his place in history is already secured. So they play freely, without that pressure to be the next Messi. And that, paradoxically, makes them better players. Because they are not trying to copy Leo, they are trying to complement him. And Scaloni understands that better than anyone. That is why he built a system where Messi is the quarterback, as Mourinho says, the one who touches the ball in the key moments, the one who decides when to speed the game up and when to slow it down. But he is not the only one responsible for the result. And that is what makes Argentina the favorite in 2026. Not because it has the best player in the world, which is no longer the case if we are talking about physical ability, but because it has the smartest player in the world surrounded by a team that understands exactly what he needs to shine. And here is the deeper reflection that many people resist accepting. Messi does not need to run like before to remain decisive, because football is not only physical, it is mental. And nobody reads the game like Leo, nobody anticipates like him, nobody makes the passes he makes. And if you give him a team that allows him to use that intelligence without wearing himself out chasing the ball, you get what Argentina has right now. A perfectly tuned machine where every piece does its job. And Mourinho, who is obsessed with tactical detail, saw it clearly. That is why he said Argentina is the favorite, not out of nostalgia, not out of affection for Messi, but because tactically it has the smartest team in the tournament. A team that does not depend on Messi's physical version, but on his cerebral version. And that version, brother, does not age. That version gets better with the years. So when someone tells you Messi is no longer cut out for a World Cup, remember what Mourinho said. Remember that football is not played only with the legs, it is played with the head. And in that aspect, Messi remains untouchable. And with this team Scaloni built for him, with these young guys protecting him, with this defense giving him security, Leo has everything to close his career with the golden ending of a back-to-back World Cup title, something only Pele's Brazil achieved. And if he does it, it will not be because he ran more than anyone else. It will be because he thought better than everyone else. After that reflection on Mourinho and the national team, the story continues with a stat that marks an era. Messi already crossed the 900-goal mark in March 2026, reaching that milestone in just 1,142 matches and becoming the only player in history to get there in fewer games than Cristiano Ronaldo. And that detail matters, because we are now right on the doorstep of the 2026 World Cup. What used to feel far away is no longer far away at all. The countdown is real now. Argentina already had its farewell at home before the World Cup, and it did so in style with a 5-0 win over Zambia at La Bombonera on March 31, 2026. Every match, every goal, every pass from Messi now feels like part of the final build-up to what could be his last great World Cup stage. Football's clock is no longer ticking in the distance. It is right here, and Argentina arrives with its captain still active, still decisive, still cerebral. So I ask you, do you think Mourinho is right and Argentina is the favorite in 2026 because of how this team has been built around Messi? Or do you think asking Leo to perform at a World Cup at 39 is already too much? Leave it in the comments, because this debate is blowing my mind, and I want to know what people think. And if you like this kind of tactical analysis where we go beyond goals and nutmegs to understand how football really works, subscribe to the channel, because in the next video, we will keep breaking down the World Cup that is coming.